Hello, everybody. All right, very good afternoon to everybody. So today, you know who we have, right? We've got Boss Christopher and Boss Eddy, right? Okay. Everybody, come and quickly say hello first. Today, say hello early. Usually I got prizes, but today a bit more complicated because already got 80, 100 over people. Very difficult to catch the top 5. Okay. Yes. Very good afternoon to everybody. Thanks everybody for coming. Everybody knows the drill, right? Come in, give thumbs up. Today I got special guest. You all don't make me loud, Yes. Okay. So I 好不容易请 Guru Christopher Tan and Guru Eddy here. You all don't make me loud, So everybody give thumbs up. Everybody say hello to them. Okay. So okay. We have got 159 people. Until I see 300 thumbs up, then we start. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Sound good. Very okay. Jieming, thank you. Adeline Ho, thank you. Okay. Ray, thank you. Everybody, thank you. Wow, 300 people already. Okay. Very fast. Okay. More. So it takes some time to warm up. So you all may not know, this is the first time I get Chris Tan to come to our channel on live stream.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it the first time?
Yeah, on video many times. Live stream first time. Eddy also first time. Okay, maybe I enter you first. How do you feel?
I didn't know. I thought I've done this before.
You guys speak a bit louder.
Yeah, I mean, this is really the first time.
Yes.
Okay.
On live stream. After so many years of talking to all audience. Yeah.
I'm just wondering whether I've got a chance to go toilet.
Yeah. So this thing at least will go on for quite some time. Everybody, okay. But yeah, Buisai Lu Lao Kui, yeah, Buisai Lao Kui. Okay, yes, yeah. Everybody, please. It's an honor to be a chit chat with Chris and Eddy. Hey, invite them to come here to share your okay. Normal time okay, will cost $1 million. Yeah, okay. But this time around they do it for free. Yeah, okay. So everybody, please, I would like you all to really welcome them. Okay. Yes. So Eddy, how do you feel right now going for live stream? Is it your first live stream in your life?
I think so. First live stream, but I think it's interesting.
Is it your first live stream in your life?
I don't think so.
What was your previous live stream?
I think it was with MediaCorp, Channel 8 World, something like that.
Live.
Wow. Live stream. Yeah, it was a live stream.
Okay. That's very good. Okay. All right. Okay. So, I did watch the interview with Channel 8. Right? No, he get interviewed like 50,000 times already. But live, a bit different now. Okay.
Live got like 四成有约 all that.
Oh,
those are live. Hello Singapore.
Hello Singapore. Very good. Okay.
Radio.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Lu, you owe them char siu rice.
Hey, I thought I owe you. I paid already.
Maybe contra. But he paid already.
I paid already. Okay, can.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm very soft.
Okay, so I'll try to make it a little bit closer so that. Okay, so by the way, sound. Can you all hear Christopher Tan and Eddy? Okay, can you all hear? We've got 540 people right now. I think we just warming up. Everybody give thumbs up. You don't give thumbs up, people don't know. It's very, very difficult to invite them. Mr. Lu must treat them best durian. I kid you not, I asked B want to bring durian or not. I scared we bring durian the whole office cannot work for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Here, now we got durian. Oh, you know.
It's black gold mouse one very, very nice.
Oh, you mean
we got durian. Other people don't have. You don't believe? Who has durian already? Please tell Christopher nice or not. Okay. Yeah. No choice. 经济不好 Mr. Lu must sell durian. Yeah. Okay. No choice. Okay. Mr. Lu, they need to talk so we can hear them. Currently, only can hear your voice. Sorry. You can a bit louder.
I try. Normally, I cannot speak very loud. My voice is quite soft.
Okay. What about you, Eddy?
All right. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Please ask questions later, okay? I will try our best to answer.
Quite gentle.
Okay. Yeah. The Pahang Raut Black Gold 35-year-old Mao San Wang tree. Okay. All right. Okay. So
Eddy is from Haven.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe I introduce them first. Then we set the context, and then we ready to start. Okay. Everybody continue to give thumbs up. Thumbs up. Okay. All right. I think can come nearer, be louder. It's very near already. The more nearer it is, the just hear softer, Mr. Lu. Okay, Mr. Lu, I just received the 2 boxes of your raw durian. Okay, Mr. Lu is the one very I 声沉大声臭耳郎That's why I end up like that. Okay, yeah. Okay, wait. I'll move there a bit. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you, B. Okay. So just for context, recently there was a lot of discussion about one topic. It's called ILPs. So I know I'm very loud. You'll give me a minute. Later I'll soften a bit. Okay. Recently there's a lot of topic on ILP, and I tell you all, number one, I don't have license to advise. Okay. Recently MES come out say that whoever anyhow Gongwei will invite you to drink coffee with them. The kind of coffee nobody want to drink one. Okay, 5% kena the coffee already. So I don't want to be. First of all, I don't even know whether I'm one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I don't want one of them. But even if I'm not one of them, I don't want to become the sixth. So, but the more important is that they are the experts. Okay, and culprit number one, go and write an article on Business Times, right?
Yes.
Business Times, and then sparked off the whole thing. Actually, I only talk about his article, so it 不是我的错，还是他的错。Okay, so after that, wildfire, right? Lots of people talk about, and this is where I want to spend our discussion. So first, Christopher Tan, everybody knows him, everybody loves him. He's one of the wisest men I ever know. Okay, and he is the CEO and founder of Provident. Okay, Provident is a wealth management company, and of course, Eddy is in a sister company called Haven. Okay, and Haven helps a lot of people with your financial insurance matters and things like that, which I think both of them will become very, very important today in live stream to address some of your needs. That day, I asked everybody, how many of you have an ILP? I think at least 100-200 of them. Yeah, and then when I say, wow, I don't know what to say about you. Then everybody lao baksai. So as a result, I think better get both of you here, okay? But today, any questions? Sorry, we are going to do an AMA. It's not called AMA, okay? AMA stands for Ask Me Anything. Rather, ask them anything, okay? You all can ask them anything, and there'll be a lot of questions. So we'll try to prioritize, okay? But please don't be so specific and just say, I bought this particular fund called ABC particular fund. What do you think about it? I'm not even sure whether MES then will invite them to drink coffee or not. Okay, they also don't want to be invited to drink coffee. But you meet MES quite often, right?
Not that often.
Is it?
But I do meet them because of work and all that, but not to drink coffee.
The kind of coffee nobody wants to drink, right? Okay. So are you all ready? Yeah. So first of all, I would like Chris and Eddy to first give a short introduction of this thing called ILP and why you say that they don't necessarily be part of, they don't necessarily have any role to play in a person's portfolio. Okay, so who will start first?
I think I'll start first.
Yeah, he's the culprit number one. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is an ILP? So ILP stands for I love Provident.
It's shameless publicity. Okay, I'll be shameless.
Yeah. But well, it's true. I love Provident, but unfortunately,
so do I.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have a very good name. So anyway, I wrote an article on the Business Times this week, and I thought that it was a pretty neutral piece because I didn't put down anyone. I didn't put down the advisors. I didn't say that the advisors sell it because of high commissions and all that. Yeah, but I basically stated what I feel about ILP, that it is actually very complicated.
等一下，太小声 ，people cannot hear. We shift it even closer.
Oh, wow.
Okay, don't mind you shift this thing away.
Yeah, this one.
Okay,
这个不要。
Wait, guys, I bring even closer.
I move forward.
Wait, I move even closer, okay?
Okay, is it?
Volume up.
Okay.
Okay, like
It's just me, right?
Eddy, you squeeze it a bit.
It's just me, right?
Okay.
It's too loud.
Okay, it's just me. Okay, it's just me. Okay, I try my best. Yeah, so I was saying that I did write an article this week on the Business Times, and I thought it was a pretty neutral piece because actually I didn't put down anyone. I didn't say that the industry, the advisors was unscrupulous in selling IoT. I didn't say anything of that. What I simply stated was, or rather what I was trying to show was that actually ILP is pretty complex. It's not so easy to understand, especially when it comes to its structuring, the fees, the cost, right? And most of the time, when ILP is being sold, we are always being attracted by the high welcome bonus and the loyalty bonus. And I was just trying to show that bonus is not everything, right? Because bonus can actually eat into, or rather, the cost can eat into the bonus. And there are different kinds of ILP, different structure. I was just trying to show that it's actually really not so easy to understand. And then the second reason or the second objective of that piece, or the second focus of that piece, is really about why Provident we don't choose to use ILP, right? Of course, first of all, we think that the cost is not so transparent. We also think that the cost is high. Secondly, we don't use it because most of the ILPs invest in active managed fund. I know that there are ILPs that invest in ETFs or index funds, but most of it invests in actively managed fund, which Provident we don't use because there are enough evidence to show that most of the time active managers do not beat the market, and for those that do, they do not beat it consistently, right? And then another reason why we don't use ILP is because in terms of the liquidity, right? The liquidity, because there is always that locked-in period which we don't like, right? And the other reason why we don't use ILP is that operationally it's not very efficient, right? Because ILP sits on the insurance side, right? And then if you want to buy other instruments like ETFs and other funds and all that, and you want to manage it like a portfolio, it becomes very inefficient because you have one instrument sitting at one platform and another instrument sitting at another platform. You want to do rebalancing, you want to do tilts, you want to try and manage it to control the tracking error. It becomes very, very operationally inefficient to actually manage it. So these are the reasons why we don't use ILP at Provident. And of course, I mean, if you're an advisor and you find that you can do it efficiently, right? You can mitigate all those things that we have said. Then by all means, you can go and do it. But what we are sharing is why we don't use it and why we don't think that it should be part of an investor portfolio. I mean, personally, I feel that it just doesn't make sense, right, to buy something that has got so much inflexibility when there are so many other options around. Yeah, so that was the piece, but unfortunately, it triggered. It's quite interesting, and actually, I haven't experienced this for a long time.
Is it?
Yeah, I haven't experienced it for a long time.
So you cannot death threat or something like that?
No death threats,
Yeah.
but 20 years ago, when I first started writing about term versus whole life,
Sure.
the phenomena, there was this phenomena basically. So I get a lot of actually investors, consumer, they email me personally, they text me, and they thank me, right?
Okay.
And then you get the industry people hating me.
Yes.
So that was 20 years ago.
Sure.
And I haven't had that for a long time. And I thought this piece wouldn't, because it's actually quite neutral.
No lah, it's not neutral lah.
It's quite neutral. I didn't put anybody.
Yes, but you talk about the product and people depend on product.
Yeah, but that's my stand, right? I mean, I have to share my stand, right?
Yeah.
But then, well, the same thing happened after 20 years. I actually get different people from industry sharing. They are obviously not very happy with me,
Yep.
you know, but I also get people who text me privately, email me,
Yep.
and thank me.
Yep.
So, well, the difference between 20 years ago and now is that I'm now 55 years old. It's quite tiring to try and answer all those things that has been said. That's the main difference.
Okay.
But well, yeah.
Okay, so Eddie, anything to substantiate before we answer all the questions? We love you, Chris. Yeah. Nobody loves Lou. Yeah, nobody loves Eddie. Everybody loves Chris only. But maybe, Chris, you want to add on to some of his points. Everybody give thumbs up, and don't make me loud, okay? Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I think Chris really summarized a large part of it. I think almost everything. But I think when we think about LLP, we know also that the LLP has been around for a very long time. I think when in the early 90s, it really started ILPs. And LLPs has also evolved and transformed itself. So when it first started, it is meant to be a protection-heavy plans. Okay, protection. So protection-heavy plan so basically the ILP was a new product was given to compete or to deliver something better than whole life plan. So it's always like that. It's always about insurance company evolve over time. I mean, when we first started, I think we only have a simple whole life. Okay, then after that evolve into a savings plan, and then evolve into a ILP. Okay, so in those days, ILP is basically a very heavy protection and heavy investments. But in recent times, ILP has transformed into more investment heavy or investment focused.
Why?
Because
More money.
I think when ILP, the original ILP was first launched in 1990s, 2000, because of many articles that Christopher writes, people began to look into the advantage of unbundling this investment protection. All right, and I think during this period of time, people are actually understanding a few things. Firstly, that actually ILP, while it gives very high return, a potentially good return compared to whole life plan, there are also things that they also realize that actually cost also goes up over time. When you buy an ILP, there's no guarantee. When you buy a whole life, there's a guarantee, cash value. You will have a certain minimum, but ILP there's nothing. All right. So technically, ILP there's a risk of lapse, and actually it's also shown in the product illustration that at some point, if it doesn't grow at a certain rate, the charges goes up. Okay, it can lapse. All right, but of course, people don't understand this portion. But over time, people begin to understand that actually it's not suitable. I remember in the old days, ILP was even sold to very old people, over senior people, 50, 60 years old. They don't have the runway for the investment to grow, and they suffer. So I think all this bad press, all this realization, people begin to realize that the heavy ILP not so suitable. So now it's going towards the investment side. Yeah.
Okay, so this is where I want to open up quickly, because the point of me inviting them is to let you all ask questions. Okay, now you all quickly write your questions down. Okay, in the event that we cannot see because the question run very fast, you can ask again, but don't flood 50 questions, 50 times the same question. I will try to catch it. Okay, let's start, shall we? Just a certain rule. You all ask your questions, and Chris and Eddy, try to answer as crisp and short as possible, so that everybody got a chance to answer question. Okay, are you all ready? Number one is why don't MAS make ILP illegal?
I mean, for a simple fact that it is not a illegal product, right? It is still a proper product, and MAS, they are regulators. As long as the product is not, nothing wrong with, in that sense, nothing wrong with the product. They follow a certain rules. MAS allow it to be registered. Yeah, so that's a simple answer.
Okay, so the other big question that always come out is, first of all, how do I know it's called ILP? What is it? They cannot, like the policy. What's the difference between, let's say, a whole life ILP and don't know what universal life? All this, all these are terminology that not ordinary people. Did they buy ILP? How do they know?
Usually found in the product illustration. There is a product description to say what is this product about. Is it whole life ILP, endowment, or so and so forth.
Okay, first you gotta speak louder. But more importantly, what is the like the minute you see this thing, is ILP.
Generally, the name usually will have the word link, LINK. That's one. Another thing you would know is that for ILP, you need to choose a certain fund to invest in. Right? If you buy an endowment, you buy a whole life, there is no need for you to choose which fund you want to buy. But with an ILP, you will know that, or you will know that it's an ILP if the advisor asks you to invest in a certain fund.
Okay. So now a lot of people ask me speak softer and ask you to speak louder. So I will tell you guys, ask you guys, if they already kena ILP, don't know many years already, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, what to do now?
I think if you are talking about 20 years ago, you buy an ILP, it is most likely you have bought a protection ILP, right? And a protection ILP, usually it is almost, I would say, like a whole life. It covers you for the entire life. Usually it comes with critical illness. You probably bought a critical illness as a rider. It pays upon death. It pays upon disability. I think the important question you got to ask yourself, I think the first question is, how's your health situation? Right? Because if your health situation has changed, then you really don't want to terminate it, because you may not be able to buy another policy that's going to cover you the same thing, right? And after that, if you say that, well, you're pink of health, everything is fine, you got to ask yourself whether you still need that policy or not, right? Whether you still need that coverage or not, right? And if you still need that coverage, and you are still at the peak of health, I think then you can consider switching it to something that is cheaper and is able to cover you more widely.
So when you switch, don't you kena? When you switch, don't you kena some penalty or something like that?
And you want to take this?
It really depends on, as you cancel a plan and move over to another new plan. Okay, it really depends on a few things. Firstly, you need to see whether is there any lock-in period. Is still that lock-in period? If there's no lock-in period, then really what is the cash value is what you get. What is shown in the cash value is what you will get when you surrender.
Maybe I also want to stress right now. A lot of you all have very specific plans that you're asking now. I will try to accommodate, but maybe they can go to the rich. So not rich one. Those with a net worth above 10 million. Go and look for him. Those with net worth below 10 million, go look for him. Okay, that a bit complicated. Don't ask me why. Okay, so but generally, I think for insurance, you go to Haven better, right?
Yes.
What's the support email called?
Contact@haven.com.
Contact@haven.com. I think Haven, you are somewhere there. Can you write you're go and look for them, bring your policy, go and look for them. First meeting free, right?
Free, yeah.
First meeting free, okay? First meeting free, go look for them for help, okay? But never mind, I'll try to get...
Can I take this question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, given your vast experience.
Name the name first.
Okay, so it's...
NG3. Is it?
Chiwi.
Okay, Chiwi.
Yeah, so what proportion of the advisors themselves buys the ILP? This will give us a view of whether they walk the talk. Now, honestly, I don't know, right? I don't have the data, but I'll tell you that I know of many advisors who sincerely believe that actually ILP is good for their clients. So they not only sell to their clients, they buy for themselves. And I've got a very interesting encounter. 3-4 years ago, there was this lady from one of the tech agency, and she's about to retire.
Okay.
She called me, and then she said, Chris, I really never cheat my client. I really believe in this ILP.
Okay.
I bought it myself,
Okay.
but I realized it is bad. And then she asked me, what can I do about it? And she said, I know it sounds really funny, but I'm coming to you for advice to plan for my own retirement.
I see.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that there are a lot of advisors out there. They sincerely believe a certain product is good and they buy it themselves. But unfortunately, maybe sometimes their own understanding of their product is not good enough. And as a result, well, they get hit by the bad performance as well. Yeah, so I don't have an answer for how many, what is the number of people who bought, but there are advisors who actually invest in the products that they sell to their clients.
Okay, why is it that the advisor like to sell ILP? Okay, this is a trick question. Okay, maybe I just ask point blank. Are the remuneration on ILP versus term insurance, is there a vast difference?
And you want to talk about it?
I think firstly, ILP is people want to grow their wealth, and they always feel that investment is a way to grow your wealth. So the story of ILP is about growing wealth. So the narrative is very attractive, when you talk about compensation for ILP versus pure investments, ILP typically will pay more.
Yeah, but I think the other thing is it allows the advisors to talk about investments, right? And like what Eddy says, right? ILP is why ILPs people like to sell it, okay? Because investment is always sexy to talk about, right? And as a result of that, you see a lot of the ILPs being sold.
I see. Okay, let's ask another question. There's a lot of questions now. There are a lot of people not very clear between whole life, universal life, and ILP. Can you just like in a breath differentiate the three?
Whole life, ILP, and universal life. Okay, whole life is basically a protection plan that covers whole of life. It has a guarantee element. All right, it means your sum assured will not lapse. Your cash value will not lapse. The protection will not lapse. So it's covered whole of life. ILP is basically a whole life plan. It's basically a whole life plan as it covers whole life, but you bear the investment risk return. You're not taking the risk. Whole life insurance company take the risk and return. Take the risk and give the bonuses, but ILP you take the risk and return. Consumers take the risk and return. Universal life is a protection plan that is meant to give very high coverage have payout in the event of death.
Yeah, so I will just add on to say that for a whole life, for every $1 premium that you pay, a portion of it, the insurance company use it to buy the insurance that you need. The remaining of that premium, well, is invested into the insurance company par fund or participating life fund. You don't have to choose the fund manager. The insurance company will manage it for you, right? But for ILP, for every $1 that you place with the insurance company, a portion of it, the insurance company will use it also to give you the insurance. But the remaining portion, you invest it into a fund. Now, that fund, together with the advisor, you decide what fund you want to invest in, right? So that will be the two key differences, the key differences between the ILP and the whole life.
Now, so, okay, I'll just ask a few questions. Are there such a thing called a good ILP? Well, I caught them. This is a tough question. All loud already. Can I ask the question?
I think
It's like a good ILP. Like, can you, like you will ever buy?
I'll take this. I think relatively speaking, in the ILP world, there are better ILPs, especially those underlying would be the lower cost ETFs and index funds. There aren't many, but there are. So I would say there are better ones. There are also ILPs whereby the fees are relatively cheaper. So there are better ILPs in the ILP space.
But
again, if you are an investor and if you are an advisor, there are many other alternatives. And there are many alternatives that allows you to manage a portfolio more efficiently. So why get so caught up by just the ILP world? You know, so that's the part that I don't understand. Yeah, even if there is a relatively better ILP in the ILP world, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, there are a lot of operational inefficiency when I'm managing the portfolio. I mean, if Provident today we manage our portfolio and we put in if we put in an ILP, I cannot imagine how we're going to manage the portfolio for my 1,000 clients. And for us, 1,000 clients is actually very small compared to the companies out there. Some of the advisors themselves, they have got 500 clients, 600 clients. I don't know how to manage it when you have products on one platform and then products on the other platform. Yeah, so my point here is, again, sorry, I know I repeat myself, but to answer your question, yes, there are good ILPs, there are better ILPs, but why get caught up with just that space? Because there are other better alternatives that you can use.
Okay, more and more people are asking very specific. Is there a timeline? Where if I only started ILP for 5 years, then terminate is not so painful. But if I started ILP for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years and beyond, then better continue. You know, is there some yardstick along this?
Actually, shorter may be more painful because there is a minimum investment period, which is the lock-in period. So if you are bought an ILP, now the more attractive the welcome bonus you get, the longer the lock-in period, right? So if you have bought an ILP that promises, say, 200% welcome bonus, you might be potentially locked in for 25 years and 30 years. And if you surrender, you get out of it during the lock-in period, you might lose everything.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But another question, another thing is that it doesn't mean that the longer you stay in ILP means that you get better returns, because ultimately the returns depends on the funds that you invest in. Right? There could be cases whereby the fund selection was poor. For example, I've seen previously people who actually shifted from, because of market downturn, they shifted their entire allocation into money market and then stay in money market for 10 years. So this could be an example whereby maybe the allocation, the underlying fund wasn't the right choice. The return will not compensate for holding too long. You won't get a return over long term, right? So it's also important to understand what are you invested into before you make the decision. What are the lock-in periods to consider?
Yeah, can I throw in a question myself?
Yes, please.
Yeah, because someone asked me this question last night, right? Because it is true that when you invest in an ILP, after taking into consideration the bonuses you get and the fees you need to pay, the longer you stay invested in an ILP, it is true that the cost becomes lower. Okay, that is true.
But
But but why is it like that? No, why is it like that? I think we need to ask ourselves, why is it like that? Well, it's like that because of distribution costs, right? Because when an advisor sell an ILP, they are already compensated upfront, right? So initially
How
the
many percent?
cost, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Eddie may know, but I don't know the cost.
It varies. Yeah.
Yeah. So because there is an upfront payment already to the distribution, right? So the initial years, the fees are very high. You only get a more reasonable fees as you stay invested for the long term. So the but is, why do we disadvantage investors this way? Why do I disadvantage investors? Because of my payment to the distribution system, right? So I'm being forced to stay invested for long term just to enjoy a lower fee. And I know that we have always been advocating stay invested for the long term, but in this time and age where things are very uncertain, things will change, right? I'm not even sure. Today, we are advocating a lot on using index, using passive, but things may change. What may work in the past may not work in the future. And I want the flexibility to be able to change my instrument, but I'm locked up, right? Now, some people say that to be locked up, actually to have a lock-in period is actually good because it prevents people from getting out of the market the wrong time. But to me, that's just an excuse because there are other ways. There are other ways actually to help an investor stay invested, and that's through advisors coaching and all that. We are actually putting in a feature that disadvantage someone no liquidity just for that that advantage that we say that that feature help people to stay invested for.
Okay, I'm going to now go very specific questions and let's do it real fast. Okay, so hi Chris and Eddie, my ILP is 100% of premium invested from start, no sales charge and no bid spread offer with no more supplementary charges after paying 13 years of premium. Should I continue?
Wow.
It's very specific. Yes. Yeah.
I think it's
there's always contact@haven.com. What do you generally something, and then you can pass it over to the company?
No, I'll just say that it's quite dangerous for us to answer this question like that because we do need to look at your documents because sometimes investors always claim that someone told me don't have these charges,
correct.
But there are a lot of hidden ones, right? So if you want to, right, you can show us the document. It's easier to advise like that. I think specific products very hard for us to comment.
I also agree. Yeah. Now there are like gazillion specific questions like this. My advice is the email ticker tape is running. I just figured out how to do this yesterday. Okay, so this contact@haven.com. You contact them. Your first meet up, is it, or is it over Zoom or?
We'll first contact by call.
Okay, first contact is free. So I think you all should take advantage of this. And then you let them know. From the questions that I get, a lot of people cannot differentiate whether they have ILP or doing my ILP or whatever, and it's okay. But submit, just have a discussion with them, and they'll give you a more practical advice. Okay, yeah. So let me see.
I mean, if I have to answer the question just now, what research. So this person has already kept an ILP for many years, okay, and you want to see whether should you continue. I mean, the first thing you can ask yourself, you can find out is firstly, over the past, let's say 10 years that you are in this plan, what kind of returns are you getting? All right, you can actually calculate based on how much you put in versus how much you get it, and from there you can also have a benchmark over what kind of returns are you trying to achieve from this. Is it giving you the return? All right. I mean, that's one way you can assess whether is this giving you the return that you need so far by having this plan. Because if the last 10 years is not able to get the return, then what assurance do we have that the next 10 years you can still get the returns? Yeah.
Okay.
But that is just a very high level quick assessment.
Okay. Is there a type of ILP that is more beneficial, or they can talk to their financial planner to switch to, so that they can minimize the cost or maximize the benefit out of it. Like they are really stuck in it already. Okay, like if I really stuck in it, cannot get out, what can they do within the policy to minimize the negative and maximize the positive?
I don't know if I explain this way, and Eddie, correct me if I'm wrong, you're probably more familiar with me. ILP is like a wrapper. It wraps the fund inside, right? So if you're not happy with the funds, you can switch the funds, right? Within whatever the insurance company allow you to switch.
Sure.
Right? But you cannot throw away the wrapper, because if you throw away the wrapper, then you incur some costs, especially if you're in a lock-in period. Right, so that's an answer to your question. You cannot just throw away the wrapper.
So let's say the inside got Dimension Fund, got S&P 500, got Nasdaq. Very unlikely, right?
Unlikely. On Dimension for sure, unlikely.
Okay. Anyway, so let's say they got some very cheap and good low cost fund. They got high performance. They can switch.
Yes, if the insurance company has that in their buffet of products, you can switch within. But you cannot say this whole wrapper, I want to throw away and buy something else because it's more expensive.
You can't change the policy, policy A to policy B.
Okay, wait. So there is in the ILP, there is a insurance part and there's the investment part. Investment part can change a portfolio. That means they can switch from fund A to fund B or
fund
whatever.
allocation, yes.
Okay. The insurance part,
insurance part, this is where there are two types of plans, right? The first one is the protection heavy 01. Yes, you can actually adjust the protection level. But in recent times, people are selling the investment focus one. Okay, in investment focus, the protection is fixed one. It's about 1% or 5%. 1% of capital.
It
means if you put in $100,000, in the event of death, they'll guarantee you whatever the value is, at least 101,000.
You put in 100,000. If let's say the ILP grow to 110,000, you die at 110.
Okay.
But if the market is bad when you die, because you cannot choose when you want to die, right?
Okay.
Then you are guaranteed at least 101% of what you put in, which is 101.
And now I see why people want to buy, because for the normal man, they don't know how to invest. They don't know about insurance. Someone come to them and just say, "You buy this." Investment, you look at fund go so good, right? And then, you get the fund money back. Very easy sell. I also want to be FA now. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, in a way, if you are buying for protection, right, you can actually separate the investment with the protection, right? If you really needed 100,000 coverage, then you just go and buy a term plan, and then the 100,000 you go and invest in something that is of a lower cost is better, right? And then upon your demise, your family can decide what to do with the investment. They can wait for the market to recover before they sell. With the ILP, I mean, it just gets paid out.
The 1% is actually to satisfy that it's an insurance product. Because today, if ILP got zero protection, it's not in insurance product.
Many of the fans like Ichi tell me this thing. Okay, I read this and maybe you make a comment. I'm in my second year or third year or fourth year of my ILP. I find the return pretty good. Okay, I get in this case I get $143 per month for $20,000 paid so far. My premium is $10,000 a year. Any comments? Many such comments. They are actually in love with the ILP. What have they missed? Because I don't know whether they have enough to judge.
I think, well, if you are happy with your ILP, that's great. Okay, that's one. The second point is the last 2 years markets have been good. So your ILP might have done well, but relative to other instruments, it might not have done as well, right? But I think what is more important is not just look at performance today, performance over the last 5 years. Now, of course, if it's good, it's great. But I think what is more important is to ask ourselves is what are the chances of this particular instrument continually repeating that performance in the next 5 years, right? And cost is definitely one factor. The higher the cost, it is into return. The way investments are being managed, right? In active management, again, there are enough evidence to show that most times they cannot repeat that performance because it's based on a lot of guesswork, you see. So I think, well, if you're happy with ILP, great, but do consider some of these points that I've just shared.
Actually, there are also another perspective, because with ILP, I think there are two ways to present it. One is called account value. Account value is is the current value that the policy has. Then there's an account called the surrender value. Surrender value is when you want to surrender it. What actually can you take out? What do you have inside account value and surrender value can be two different things. Because of the lock-in period, okay, even if the value is very good, but if you want to surrender it, then the standard value that you need to tally already. Because you surrender earlier, there's a penalty. After penalty, what's that value? So you need to balance between these two numbers, account value and the surrender value.
So at what year normally the surrender value would be okay?
It will be when you cross the lock-in period. It could be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
Depending on the lock-in period.
Wow,
that you buy.
yeah.
When's the lock-in
Can I
period?
answer this question?
Yes,
Whether MES should ban ILP? I don't think so, honestly.
Why?
Right now, to be fair to the insurance company, I think the ILP has improved over the last 20 years.
Okay.
Right, in terms of cost, right? The ILP that we see today, relative to what I have seen when I first started a career in the 90s, it has improved quite a bit. But I think what we need to do, and MES is actually asking for consultation right now, is that we should regulate ILP better, right? That we should be able to explain, we should make sure that our advisors must explain the fees much better, right? So I think that's what we should do, because if you look at ILP, it is not a toxic product. Underlying it is just a unit trust. What makes it complicated is how the cost and the bonus are all mixed up together and people don't understand it.
Okay, so is there such a thing called a good ILP then? Because commonsensically, if there's ILP, there is like the insurance part is like a term insurance, and then investment part there's a low cost one like a dimensional fund like S&P 500, like a MSCI World Index, that kind of fund. Then which they charge that kind of fee. Then if they combine this, very good. Got such a thing, right?
I mean, actually, I answered the question just now.
Yeah.
Why? You have many other options to do it.
No, auntie, uncle.
Yeah.
So someone, insurance agent come to me, say, Uncle Lou, if you invest in this ILP, it's the same. Like you buy a term insurance and you buy cheap index. Yeah. So actually, don't liao this. I know you don't know, like me gong, that kind of thing, right? Then you just say, you buy this, won't go wrong. Is there such thing as a good, really nobly good one? Because someone actually said US have. I don't know whether it's true or not.
I don't know. Yeah. But if you, there are two category of people asking me this question.
Okay.
First category is individual investor asking me this question.
Okay.
Right. Then my answer to you is, it would be better you separate it. Don't combine. Okay. Don't combine your protection and your insurance together, because you asked me to keep it short. I want to elaborate.
Yes.
Right. But the second category of people asking me this question is the advisor. What if my client doesn't know anything about investment? We hear like what you said.
Yeah. A lot of people say that.
You are the advisor. You advise her.
I advise this one now. No, I'm just saying because the person don't know one transaction better than two transactions.
Yes, so I repeat.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm trying to play.
That's why poke me like.
Yeah.
Right, I know. So I said, okay, if you are an individual investor asking me this question, my answer to you, no, separate it.
Okay,
combining usually is not good.
Okay.
Now, if you are an advisor and your reason to me that you sign ILP is because my client doesn't know how to invest,
Yeah.
But you are the advisor.
Yeah.
You are the advisor. Can you advise your client how to invest? So separate it. That's my point. To say that my client is not savvy in investment and therefore I sell you a bundled product is not a fair statement, because you are the advisor, right? It cannot be that when you are selling an ILP, you become an investment expert, right? And then when you are okay, I lost myself. But basically, what I'm trying to I also don't know what I lost. Very tiring day. Okay, but my point here is that the advisor should not use the excuse of their client not being investment savvy. Therefore, I sell you a bundled product because you can actually advise them to separate it.
I see. Okay. So I think this is very good. Now there's a question: if after speaking to Haven, if there's a need to give up some policy, would Haven be able to help?
We do. When clients come to us to do review, first thing we do is to understand what do they have right now, And from there, from the insurance policies, we will evaluate with them to clarify whether do you still need these policies or plans, right? And sometimes it could be, well, you can still keep it. Sometimes if let's say this plan doesn't serve its purpose, we also do suggest and recommend them to consider making restructuring, meaning that you can consider dropping one plan to buy another plans, but there will always be trade-offs. So these are things that we will explain to the clients.
Okay. Mark Liao has a very good question. Hi, sir. Since ILP is not illegal, what is the ideal state you think MES and industry should achieve after all the public feedback?
I think the insurance company can come with better products, more transparent, right? And keep costs as low as possible. Right. I think right now the product is not easy to understand because it often comes with very high welcome bonuses, like I said, and the welcome bonuses are the things that attract people. But again, the cost is not very clear. So I think the insurance company can improve better to come out with better products, more transparent and lower cost. I think MAS, after this consultation, well, perhaps they can regulate this product stricter so that advisors must make certain declaration, right, before they are allowed to get the client to sign off this product. So I think that would be a good state.
Yeah. I see. Okay. A very quick question. Christy asked. Christy is a sister. He said, Mr. Eddy, can I go to Haven with my 7-year-old grandchild to buy insurance for him?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it will be under the parent's name. Yeah.
Okay.
The grandparents' name.
Okay. Okay. This. Okay. So this a lot of people have this type of question. So I will ask for Cheng Tong. Hi, I bought an ILP 25 years ago. Very common. After 10 years, they invest 105 of your premium. Currently, the portfolio is about 40% gain. Should I continue to earn the 5% or cash out the average return, which is about 2%? Okay, use this more as an example. There are many such questions. Many, I can see them, many such questions. So generally, like how do I gauge what to do now? 我进也不对，也出也不对. You know, like when I don't know. So yeah, you guys say expensive. No, yeah, Mr. Lu say expensive. But I now I see, make money, you know, 10%, 20%. I don't know how to judge good or no good, that kind of thing. A lot of them in this kind of bucket right now.
It's very hard to, honestly, it's very hard to answer this kind of very specific product, very specific, based on your situation kind of question. But if you have said that you have bought a product 25 years ago, it is a protection ILP, right? You must have bought it for some assured, some coverage, not so much for investment, right? So I think we need to look at this product based on whether it is still serving that need, serving your protection need. So that's the first question, like I say, you got to ask yourself. And you got to ask yourself whether actually at this age, do you still need that protection? Because there will come a time whereby you don't need insurance protection anymore.
See, experts say that day I told everybody don't believe. Maybe I elaborate this point. This point is very important.
I mean, if you are buying insurance for protection, right? I mean, three of the main reasons, or rather the main reasons that you buy insurance for protection, firstly is you want to replace your income loss due to death. You want to replace your income loss due to a disability. You want to replace your income loss due to a medical crisis, right? And if you are buying insurance to replace income loss, whether due to death, disability, or a medical condition, it is a temporary need because there will come a time in your life whereby you don't need to replace your income, whether due to death, disability, or medical crisis. For example, retirement.
Yes.
So if you plan to retire at 65, right, and when you retire and if death occurs, disability occurs, or medical crisis occurs, there is actually no income to replace because you stop work already. The reason why you retire is because you have saved up a sum of money. Otherwise, you wouldn't have retired, right?
Yes.
So if there's no income to replace, then there is no need for that kind of protection anymore. The insurance that you need for your entire life are insurance that you need to pay for your medical expenses. For example, your IP plans, you need it entire life because whether you're 70, 80, 90 years old, if you go into hospital, you need that kind of coverage. The other insurance or the other need that you may have that is permanent would be you want to have money to pay for alternative treatment, things that your IP cannot cover. Right? So maybe
like TCM, that kind of thing.
TCM.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Other than these two circumstances, right? As long as it's income replacement due to death, disability, or a medical condition, it is always a temporary need, and therefore you don't need your insurance for your entire life.
Okay, two specific questions. You can go very fast. Someone from Malaysia, okay? Chris Ng said, hi, Mr. Lu, Chris and Eddy. Thanks for educating us on insurance. Can I get advice on Malaysian insurance if I've got insurance policy details?
Typically, we will take a look, but of course, we can't comment on the regulations in Malaysia. We can take a look to see whether it's just, for example, what type of policy is this, what's the benefits, and then to see whether is the client still need this kind of protection.
Okay, B, just take note. Someone said, just saw Kate Lu alight from bus 7. She looks like a celebrity with sunglasses.
Okay.
So that was quite funny, yeah. Yeah. So by the way, my daughter don't get a car from me. Some people actually think that my children get some benefit. Even their BTO limpe boho jiam de, okay. Yeah. So they go and survive on themselves. So anyway, just for humor. Okay, this one, another specific one, quite interesting. For someone who cannot buy term due to medical history, would the underwriting requirement for ILP be the same or less strict? Would ILP be suitable as an insurance instrument if one cannot buy term? That means bopian, term don't allow, but is there a backdoor through ILP or it's the same?
I mean, ILP, the 101 ILP don't require a lot. I don't think there's need to be underwritten medical because they are just giving 1%. Yeah. So, but you are buying this
it's not 1%, it's 101%, right?
No, 1%.
1% extra.
1% of.
Oh,
your
of course.
capital.
What am I talking about?
So
I invest in 100,000. It's actually my money.
Yes.
So if there is something happen to me, I get 101%. What kind of insurance is? What kind of insurance is that? That's not insurance.
Yeah, that's because the 101 ILP is designed as an investment ILP.
Yeah.
They need to give you the 1% insurance because it's the insurance company product. They cannot sell a product that has no insurance.
Oh, I finally understood this.
Insurance company cannot sell an investment product without insurance.
Oh,
So I need to give you a bit. So
I
give you
understand
1%.
now. I understand now. That's just a back door. Sorry, that's just like almost like a back door, right? Is that wait? Is
But there's only 1%.
wait? Are ILPs mostly like that?
No. So we've been talking for a
Yeah,
long time.
yeah. But there are many ILP.
There are two
Right?
types, but nowadays mainly the investment type.
Okay,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
101 ILP very little. Yeah.
No,
No, very
This-
common. The 101 ILP is the one that's very common now.
It's the
Yeah.
investment.
The one during my time when I first started
Yeah.
are protection ILPs. It's not 101.
Then why the hell you pick? Oh, I finally understood now. All right, now Mr. Lu talk.
Okay.
Now I finally understood. Now I listened to this for 1 hour. I still don't understand. Now I understand. Listen very carefully. 101 ILP means uncle me invest $100,000, my own money, into a Morgan Stanley Smith fund, whatever the thing is called. What see? I die. They'll give me 100,000 plus 1,000. Why? So actually, they only give me the insurance element only 1,000 only. This is not even. It's like administrative fee refund, man. It's not even an insurance. Is it fair to say that? There is no reason why you need such a product. Now I see totally. There's no reason why, and these are very popular, is it?
Yeah, it's popular. Yeah.
But today, I mean, to be fair to the advisors, they don't sell this as a protection product. They sell this as an investment product.
Yeah.
But then there is no reason why you go to an insurance company to get investment product. Because insurance company. What the hell do they know? Okay, this I say.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. You
Yeah,
say what
I say. What does insurance company know about investment? You go to investment wealth management company, robo-advisor, what IBKR, whatever, I don't know, anything else to get investment. You go to insurance company, you go to Mr. Lu and buy, you go to Mr. Lu here and buy char kway teow for what? I am not an expert in char kway teow. Okay, you come and buy durian from me. I semi-expert with it right now. Okay, you go to Haven and Provident and buy Mao San Wang is totally wrong. Okay, I mean, yeah, it's quite close to that. They're going to insurance company to buy investment. I now know what the hell is going on right now. I finally understood. Can you all see, ladies and gentlemen? Can you all see finally what is wrong with ILP? I didn't realize the 101 part. Okay, I finally understood. Point blank conclusion. Yes, relax. Say this. Okay, if you understand, say understand. Okay, understand. That's a huge revelation to me. Okay,
I'm going to answer a question as well, moving up.
Okay.
I think that question was asked by Joshua. lah.
Mr.
And
Lu 不要激动。
there was one question asked by Joshua, and he said that if he wants to buy a whole life insurance for legacy,
Yes.
I can't. Oh yes, okay. Joshua, go. Yeah, plain water, never mind. Okay, Joshua, go. Right. So, question is, Chris, how about keeping the insurance after retirement to provide legacy for my son? Right. So now this question is quite loaded, Joshua. So I have to break it apart. Now, if you have already bought a whole life plan, and your question is, how about keeping the insurance after retirement to provide legacy for my son? And yes, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's say today you haven't bought anything. Okay, and you are considering whether you should buy a whole life plan, okay, and keep it for your son as a legacy. Okay, and my answer is possible. It's possible, but that's not the priority when you plan. Because when you plan, the first thing is to protect the goose that lay the golden egg. You don't think about legacy first. You think about, what if I die now? What if I fall sick now? Who is going to replace my income? That's your priority, right? And if that's your priority, the cheapest way to cover yourself is term. Right now, if that priority is taken care of already, now yes, you qualify to ask this question: Should I now buy a whole life plan to keep as a legacy for my son? Right now, if you are investment savvy, there's a better way to do it, because actually you can invest, and that investment is a legacy for your children, right? And I know the difference is that when you buy insurance, 1 year after I die, you got that legacy already. Yeah, you can still buy a term. Right, a big term, like a $1 million term, and the day you buy, tomorrow you die, you got a $1 million $1 million legacy for your son. But if you don't die and you have been investing faithfully, then when you die, this amount will be much bigger, right? So I hope I'm clear, Joshua, to reply to your question.
I have to ask a question. First of all, there are 1,240 people. There's a lot of people here today. I want to ask this question. Now that I really now understand what the hell is ILP, how much is the cost of ILP per year? Generally?
Okay.
As a percent, is it like?
No. It's very complicated.
Really?
Yes. So, I mean, I wrote an article.
Maybe explain to Uncle Me, as if Uncle Me, why is it complicated? Yeah.
Okay, because it's so complicated
that you don't know how to.
No, to explain it live here. Now, if I've got my colleagues online, they can share my latest article, right? It's complicated because in the first year, they give you a welcome bonus, okay? And then you pay your premium. So let's say your premium is $1,000, and let's say the welcome bonus is 100%, let's say. Okay, so 100% of 1,000 is another 1,000.
Yeah.
So in the first year, you got $2,000 in the account.
Damn sure.
Yes, but there is a fee on this $2,000. Okay, the fee can be a 2% fee.
Okay.
Right? And then this thing carry on. So in the next year, you put one more $1,000 premium. So now your account got $3,000. And I'm assuming no gain, no loss.
Okay.
Easier to calculate.
Yeah.
Right? So now your account on the second year got $3,000, but there's still a 2% fee on the 3,000. The next year, you got 4,000 in your account, right? Because you got 1,000 more.
Yeah.
This thing goes on. And after about 10 years or so, all that 100% bonus that you get, the $1,000, would have been eaten up by the fees that you pay.
2%.
Because it's 2%.
Is 2% common?
It's feasible. Yes, it's common.
Possible.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it's not an arbitrary and it's not an exaggerated number.
Okay, 2%.
Okay? There are some that charges 2.5% even. Okay. So now after, let's say this is a 10-year lockup. After 10 years, the fees drop. Okay, the
2% will drop.
Yes, will drop.
Okay.
Typically, it will drop. So it's very hard to tell you what is the fee per year. Can you see that? Because there is a bonus involved. The first 10 years, the fee is higher. After 10 years, the fee is lower.
Wow, very good skill in masking up everything.
That's why I'm saying it's complex. It's not fair. It's actually not fair for us to say that the ILP is very easy to understand. Actually, it's not easy to understand. So when you ask how much is the fee per year, you got to consider all these things. And we did a study, right?
Yeah.
And it is possible that in the first 5 to 10 years, you can pay about 2% to 2.5% per year fee. And then after that much longer, if you keep the ILP for say 25 years, the overall fee is about maybe 1.7, 1.8.
What's the lowest they can ever get that from your experience?
According to what the team has studied, and this is not index, this is just using active funds. I think the lowest I've seen maybe 1.4, 1.5 per year.
Oh.
Now,
After 20 or 25 years.
yes. So that's what. Okay. So you now know why I say.
I now know
Okay.
why.
Wait. Now it's 1.4, 1.5. Does it sound expensive? Now, actually, if a FA rep uses a pure unit trust as active managed fund, and then they charge their own rep, it's about the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so what am I saying? What I'm saying is that when you buy an ILP, if you keep long term, it may be not any more expensive than a FA rep selling you a pure unit trust. The fee will be about the same.
Okay.
However, the trade-off is this: you are locked in. When you buy a pure unit trust, you can actually sell anytime you want, right? But when you buy an ILP, you are locked in.
So if you sell early,
you will lose money, right? So, but if you keep long term, the fee is about the same, but well, you are locked in. Can you see that? Okay, secondly,
long usually how long? Just say at 5, 10, 15,
Yeah,
20.
it can be, let's say 100% bonus probably will be like 10, 15 years, locked in at least.
10, 15 years.
Yeah, wait, don't disrupt me.
Okay, sorry.
So what I'm trying to say
very
is
qitong
that,
now.
so what I'm trying to say is that it does seems like it is the same if you keep long term, right? Between an ILP and a FA rep helping you buy an actively managed unit trust. It does look the same, but the trade-off is firstly locked in, ILP locked in. You buy a pure trust locked in. Secondly, all those disadvantages I mentioned just now applies, right? Because when you buy ILP, you want to do rebalancing with other instruments. It's very difficult. When the FA rep uses a platform and buy all your unit trusts on a platform, they do rebalancing, they manage your portfolio, it is a lot more operationally efficient, right? So, conclusion, when there are other options to consider,
Why?
Why get hung up? Why get hung up?
Oh,
with
I
ILP?
finally understand. Why? Even Mr. Lu, who is a bit more financially savvy, also don't understand. Now I fully understand. Thank you, for both of you being such great teacher. Let me paraphrase this, okay? Number one, there's almost no insurance. There's almost no insurance. This is number one. Okay, there's almost no insurance. So it's not a policy. Okay, it's just insurance company trying to beat around the rules to add 1% to cover the insurance part. 这个真的是 I want to use some word, but don't get into borderline. Okay, anyway, okay, so it's borderline. Not right. It's borderline, okay, but never mind, okay? But let's say you buy this, it's better. You buy this already, right? The fees are insanely high, okay? The fees are insanely high that there is no need. Your lockup period 30 years.
Yeah.
Have.
Have. That means the welcome bonus is probably
very high.
200%. So lockup is
So this. Okay, so the fees are high and you're locked up. And those portfolio they are given to you, most of them are active funds. Active funds are very expensive. Mr. Lu always tell, right? You invest in globally diversified index. Why? Because the fees are very low. How low? 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.6. I think 0.6 is probably a maximum really. Yeah.
No, Haven is not selling any ILP.
Okay. No. Haven and Provident don't sell ILP. Okay. I actually think right now, I'm going to say, in my personal opinion, ILP is wrong. Yeah, in my personal opinion, I can finally understood this because the two professors here finally managed to teach me. Can you all see it? Can you all see it? It is really okay. Now we now understood this already, and we also understood if you cannot log into one already, right? Go to that ticker tape that's running across, which I just figured out how to do yesterday. Contact haven.com. Go ask them. The first meeting is free. After that, you have to charge me. I think they're quite a fair. The advice is quite a fair price. I don't know how much, but it's fair. And please go look for them. Okay. I want to. Don't mind go wrong. Okay.
I want to answer this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Advisory
for free.
Okay. This is a good question. So the question is, Magician Chin said, if Haven is providing advisory for free, how do they make money? Maybe you want to take this question?
Yeah, I'll take one part, then I'll let Eddy
Okay.
answer the part how they make money. Okay, so when I saw this, right, thank you very much for asking that question, because when you ask everybody to come and ask for ILP advice, I can't join, you know.
You wrote the article, not me. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway.
No,
Yeah.
because Haven, unlike Provident, they don't charge a fee for advice because Haven serves the man in the street,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
most of the time, the man in the street, their financial situation is not so complicated,
Mm.
and therefore Haven doesn't charge a fee. But what that means is, if 1,000 of you come to Haven and everybody just wants to ask them for free advice,
Yeah, lah,
on
cannot
LLP,
lah.
then Haven will close shop, lah,
Yeah.
right? And we want it to be sustainable. Okay, so how does Haven actually survive? Okay, I'm going to let Eddy answer this.
I mean, we want to be the safe place for clients to seek insurance advice, and we also know that sometimes we need to we want people to actually be willing to come and ask the questions for us to understand first before we could recommend anything, right? So usually what will happen is that when a person have a concern, they comes to us, and we would first of all have to understand what is the situation. But insurance is not just about product. Insurance also involves about a whole range of things. So at Haven, we also, for those who are actually looking at having a holistic coverage, we also have a service that we offer to help evaluate whether the person's protection needs is sufficient, whether what they have matches what they need. Yeah, and if there's a gap, then we also share with them what is the best way to get that covered. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so but you haven't answered how you make money.
Oh, and when the clients buys likes our services, engage us, implement policies with us, then that's where we earn our money.
Yeah, so in short, Haven is commission based, right? So when someone like you buy an insurance product, if you need it, okay, Haven is paid a commission. However, the difference is that all the advisors, they are firstly all salary based, they're not paid by commission. Well, secondly, their variable bonus is not based on a percentage of the sale they make. It doesn't mean that if they sell a bigger policy, they will make more. It's based on per life, how their variable bonus is based on how many clients they serve instead of how big a policy they sell, right? And at Haven, they are very clear that they don't sell ILP. In most times, they use only term instead of whole life. It's only in remote situation whereby there is a need for whole life, right? Then they will recommend a whole life plan to the client. And Haven has a money back guarantee basically, that when a client comes and they feel that they are oversold, after following the Haven's process, Haven will have a money back guarantee to make it right for the client. Okay, Lou, you wanted me to answer that question. What's the question? Oh, Joshua, is it?
Oh, yeah.
So, Chris, what's your reason for setting up Haven after 20 years of setting up Provident? Well, as we all know, Provident serves mainly the affluent families, and we charge an upfront fee when clients comes to us to take advice. But the people that really needs to pay us a fee for advice are usually, sorry, my Siri. Okay, the people who needs to pay us a fee for advice are usually people who have more complicated situation and usually higher net worth. But over the last 20 years, we have a lot of men in the street who comes to us and they want us to actually give them advice, but it is impossible for us to serve them. And these people wouldn't pay us a fee anyway, and they really should not pay us a fee anyway. And so therefore, we decided to set up Haven to be able to meet the needs of the man in the street. And that's why I said earlier on just now that for people who go Haven, they don't pay a fee, right? Instead, if they do take the recommendation and if the insurance is bought, then Haven as a company will take the commission, right? But we mitigate the conflict of interest, because as long as a company takes commission, there will be the conflict of interest, and Haven openly address that conflict of interest through the explanation I gave just now.
Okay, very good. Okay, there are a lot of questions specifically asking Mr. Lu, Eddy, and Chris, I got this particular policy, what should I do right now? Okay, this one I choose not to answer in this this live stream because it'll be too specific. Okay, would you mind? If you don't mind, just go contact at haven.com. The ticker tape is running. you just write in to them. Eddy staff will handle this and help you guys, okay? Because please do not go and rush to terminate your policy and kena some huge damage, because, and I now realize that each policy are quite unique. Am I correct?
Yep.
Everyone are unique. Some is positive. Now I know it's more. Just go to the experts. They give you the right advice on this one. Okay. Now maybe we segue into other topics you all want to discuss, especially non-ILPs. Okay. Someone asked this question. I want to ask you. You want to talk about something? Is it?
No, I didn't catch that. I'm sorry, my CV is very
Okay.
naughty.
So I just want to say this. People ask, what's the difference between endowment and ILP? Quite a lot of people ask this question.
Endowment is not an ILP, and an ILP is not an endowment.
Yeah.
Okay.
How to tell the distinct difference?
An endowment generally has a maturity date, right? So you buy a 20-year endowment, every month you save a certain amount. The amount that you save is not buying into a fund, it is invested into the life insurance company participating life fund, they call it, right? And after 15 years, after 20 years, depending on the term that you buy, it usually matures. Usually an endowment has got a guaranteed and non-guaranteed portion. The non-guaranteed portion, MAS give a certain guideline. The projected return must be within the range of 3% to 4.25%. Every insurance company, they must follow this guideline.
But do they normally meet 3 to 4%?
Honestly, I don't know. Yeah.
May not be.
Yeah.
It really depends on the insurance performance.
Yeah. So they may not meet, right? But ILP is quite different. ILP, especially you buy the 101 ILP, there is no maturity date because it is like an investment. It's no insurance. It's really an investment.
I just hold the fund until
you hold the fund until you need to,
Yeah.
right? And then you have to decide which fund you want to choose. You take the full market risk, you choose the correct fund, you get a return. You choose the wrong fund, then you get a wrong return.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Universal life, okay? Universal life, and then later whole life, okay? A lot of confusion between, to be frank, I also ILP, endowment, universal life, whole life. You know, maybe we compare all this versus ILP. That's the endowment you explained very well. Let's go to now universal life, then whole life.
Yeah, Eddy, you want to go ahead?
For universal life, maybe give an example, maybe easier. So usually, universal life, usually by universal life, you want to have very huge coverage. So when talk about huge coverage, it could be in the region of maybe 1 million. In recent years, it's lower, but usually people buy 1 million coverage, 2 million, 3 million coverage, death cover. Okay, the whole idea is that in the event of death, they'll pass on this money to their beneficiaries. Universal life is usually denominated in US dollar. US dollar is very big.
Why?
Why? I mean, that's the design.
It's a design.
It's a design. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's design of plan.
And usually, sometimes we'll call it jumbo insurance because when you buy universal life, you don't buy like 100,000 coverage, 50,000 coverage. It's usually millions of dollars of coverage.
And also because the universal life usually they have the fixed account whereby they will give a crediting rate. This crediting rate is usually about 4%. So US dollars, I guess you can get better returns. Singapore you can't get such good returns. So usually they buy in US dollars, and universal life is meant for legacy. It's a legacy plan. You buy this, you want to give away $1-2 million to your loved ones. All right, usually paid in one single premium. So that is a universal life approach. ILP is basically
Question. It sounds like universal life seems to be a US oriented product for them to overcome the estate duties. Is that true or not true?
When it first started, yes, it is. But in Singapore, we don't have a tax issue. Yeah. But nonetheless, it's still a very easy. Universal the underwriting is easier, not as strict as the whole life plan, because it's just covering death benefits. All right. And it's meant for giving big coverage. Yeah.
And over the years, especially during the period whereby interest rates were very low, when the bank sell universal life, they even allow the buyer to borrow a portion of the premium. Right, so let's say the premium is $1 million. The buyer just to fork out 200,000, and they borrow 800,000 from the bank, right? And then they just have to service the interest on a year-to-year basis. Upon the demise, say let's say the premium is 1 million and the coverage is 5 million, upon the demise, the payout 5 million, you're going to pay off the outstanding loan, say 800,000, you get net 4.2 million coverage. So some people like it because it's leverage, right? Because you're only paying 200,000 to get 5 million coverage, and then you are paying a monthly or yearly interest on it. But of course, during the COVID period, a lot of people got caught because when the interest rate started shooting up, they are unable to service the interest. That's when they got caught. Nowadays, I think we still hear of people leveraging as interests are coming down, but it has become less popular because many people, they were hurt during the COVID period when they borrowed. It's called premium financing to buy a universal life.
Yeah.
But under what circumstances is universal life good or useful?
Yeah, universal life is good when you have legacy needs you want to give away.
But term insurance also, right?
Term insurance doesn't cover for life.
There's a longevity risk.
I see.
So if you have a need to give away, let's say $1 million to your loved ones, okay. So instead of parking the $1 million capital, you can actually use universal life. Maybe you pay $200,000 to secure the 1 million cover in event of death. So there's a multiplier effect. So universal life is used for legacy planning, even for gifting, with the intention to give away money. Instead of giving 1 million, you can use universal life to multiply maybe 5 times of your gifting amount.
Yeah. So that, I mean, the sales idea is always like that, right? The sales idea, which Eddy has explained, right? So let's say if I want to give $1 million to my family, I don't have to set aside $1 million so that after I die, my family will get a $1 million. I'll just use maybe 200,000 to buy a $1 million coverage policy, right? Then I can spend the 800,000, right? So it sounds like a good sales idea.
Yeah.
But well, not everybody needs it. I mean, not everybody like that kind of way of gifting. So I will not say that all of you here who are thinking of legacy, you should straight away go and buy a universal life, because some of you may have enough wealth, right? And some of you will never finish spending your wealth, right? So there is no need sort of like to buy a universal life so that you can spend everything away, right? So my last point here really is that I don't want you to go away and then when a product salesperson tell you that universal life is legacy planning, you straight away jump into it and buy it. It's just one way. Universal life is just a funding instrument, but there are other ways to plan for your legacy.
Okay, very good. Sorry, I interrupt because this is a very, very important thing. Let's go now to the whole life, which is, I think a lot of people have it. Whole life policy, yeah.
Well, okay, whole life policy, which I've explained earlier on just now, right? In the past, the whole life, you pay throughout your life, you pay until you die, right? So every $1 that you pay to the insurance company, they take a portion, they buy the insurance coverage that you need, say 100,000 sum assured, right? And then the remaining, they invest it into the life fund. The same life fund that the endowment plan will invest in, they are the same fund, right? So you pay and pay and pay and pay and pay. And well, the only time you get your money back is if you surrender. But if you surrender too early, you may lose money. Too early may be anything before 20 years, 25 years, you may lose money, right? Or you die, then you claim, right? The problem with a whole life plan is that firstly, if you are buying an insurance to replace income loss due to death, disability, or medical crisis, remember we talked about it just now, you don't need to buy it permanently. You only need temporary coverage. Therefore, when you buy a whole life plan, you are actually paying for what you don't need.
In some sense, overstretching your insurance period needed.
Yes, I mean you are just wasting money because you don't need to cover for life. And
Sure.
if you cover for life, then you pay a higher premium, right? So that's the first thing or the second thing. Well, the next thing why whole life we don't really like it is because it's not very flexible. Because when you buy a whole life, you want to surrender, you always got to concern whether you break even already or not, right? So that's what we don't like. But I think the most important reason why for us we think that a whole life plan in most situations you don't need it is that it is actually a very expensive way to cover yourself, right? If you want to cover yourself fully, if you use a whole life plan, you are unlikely to be able to cover yourself fully, right?
So it's too expensive.
It's too expensive. So a better way is to buy term, and not just that term is cheaper. It is because you don't need to cover permanently. You are only buying how long you need it, right? So I hope I explained whole life. Of course, some people will tell you that when you buy term, at the end of term, you don't get anything back. You buy a whole life plan, you get something back. Well, that is true. But the only reason why it is true is because you gave the insurance extra money to invest it. Because
So that they can give you back.
yes, that's right. Because for every $1 you buy a whole life plan, right, a portion of it goes to buy the insurance. The rest they invest for you. So if you surrender, they're giving you back what you give them extra. The portion that you give to the insurance company to buy the protection, that is never given back to you. It is like the term portion, right? Last thing I'll talk about whole life is that today the newer whole life, you never pay whole life. You never pay for your entire life. It's usually limited period. Maybe it's a 10-year limited pay, 15-year limited pay, 20-year limited pay. Then after that, you don't pay anymore, it covers forever. Sounds good, right?
Yeah, sounds very good.
But that's only because
You pay upfront.
That's right. All the later part that you don't pay is brought up front. The premium is a lot more expensive.
Oh, wow! Very creative. Product packaging, man. It's I don't want to kena the 6 letter, but I think I feel very uncomfortable after understanding those whole thing. I finally understood. Okay, Okay, there are some questions on Haven. Lulu asked, does Haven provide the service to advise us on what to buy for insurance solely on client best interest? How Haven charges this? Sorry, is it Lulu? We cut the down.
Does Haven provide the service to advise us on what to buy for insurance solely on? Yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Elaborate a bit. Okay.
So I think when you come to Haven for advice, you always go through a process, right? And if it's protection, it's called Insure Well assessment, right? And you go through the process with the advisor, right? And that process basically help you understand what you have today, what is the coverage you need, what is the gap, right? And if you, after us recommending you the insurance to cover that gap, how Haven makes money is the insurance company will pay Haven the commission, right? Now, how do you know that it is always in your interest? Well, like I've said, the advisors, they are not compensated by commissions. They are all fixed salary people. Their variable bonus is also not based on how big an insurance policy they sell you. The way they give advice, well, is institutionalized, meaning to say that every advisor, they are taught a standard way to give advice. How do you know what is that institutionalized process? There is an ebook. Okay, you go to our website, the Haven website, you download the ebook, the insurance ebook. It will tell you Haven's insurance philosophy. What that means, in simple terms, is no ILP. Most times use term instead of a whole life plan.
Love it.
Right? So the advisor will follow that. So if you come and an advisor try and sell you a ILP, you know something is wrong because we openly
You went the wrong company.
Yeah, we openly tell we don't do it, right?
Okay.
And the advisor wouldn't because they are salary based. There's no incentive for them to sell you something that pays a higher commission because they don't get it anyway.
Two very interesting questions. It sounds unique, but I think it underlying answers a philosophy difference. Is it wise to buy whole life just that you can cover like a critical illness rider for life? Okay, because his own term critical illness only cover up to 70 years old. Yeah, so there's some logic that whole life cover kan liao, but your term insurance only cover. Okay, is there a logic to this?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Chris, I mean for most of our needs we use term, okay, but there are certain exceptions whereby we do recommend whole life or whole life or term to 99 is almost like whole life, okay. So and the situation would be on if there's a need to have an alternative medicine, okay. What I mean is when we talk about alternative medicine, basically means that we typically use IP plans to cover our hospitalization plans.
What's IP plan?
Integrated shield plans, your hospital coverage, all right. And then some people may want to have these options for alternative medicine. That means coverage that's beyond IP plans. For example, your TCM, your certain treatments by certain doctors. Okay,
That cannot be claimed from IP.
Yeah. So for people who have this need, we recommend optional coverage using whole life, using a critical illness that covers to 99 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but because this is just optional, we just recommend about $100,000 to $200,000 of coverage will be sufficient.
So to summarize, in a medical crisis, Lou,
Yeah.
there are two potential impact.
Okay,
One, loss of income. Two, increased medical expenses.
that's true.
The person who asked, he got a term till 70 years old.
Yep.
That particular insurance is suitable to cover loss of income because
Okay.
loss of income is always a temporary need.
Okay.
For medical expenses, you must have your IP plan to cover your whole life. When you go hospital, the IP pays. But there will be circumstances whereby you cannot claim from IP, like traditional medicine. Then yes, you buy a whole life with critical illness rider. But like what Eddy says, the coverage shouldn't be too big, right?
So that
Otherwise,
actually you what you really want is the rider.
The C, critical illness.
the critical illness
rider,
rider,
yeah.
and it shouldn't be too big because, well, you are covering for a medical expense like a TCM, you shouldn't need a few $1 million, right? And those kind of plans are super expensive, right? So you also don't want to go and buy a few million. No, I mean, honestly, not many people can afford a $2 million whole life plan. So I hope that's clear.
Okay, that's very good. Okay, so that one, I think everybody must get that clear. Okay, then now, okay, this one is very unique, but it's also cover a lot of people question. What about early cancer policy?
Yeah, early CI,
Yeah.
multi-CI.
Yeah. What about those policies? Got use, no use?
Definitely there's use, but the question we always ask is, what are you trying to cover? And for Haven's philosophy or Province philosophy, we want to cover the risk that has the greatest impact. And the greatest impact is really the advanced critical illness, okay, advanced cancer, for example. Okay, because when a person suffers from early critical illness, typically the person can still continue to do work, all right? There's no disruption to their routine actually. They just have to go for checkup and test for it. There's no loss of income, all right? So to cover on that is to us more optional. Okay. But what's more important when we think about critical illness is that firstly, you need to have sufficient cover for critical illness, which we usually use 4 to 5 times our annual income. And secondly, another thing that's very important is the relapse of benefits, because critical illness plans usually pay one time and then the policy will lapse, close. But there are chances of people suffering cancer and that relapse. Okay, the second round relapse, if we're not covered, you have disastrous implications. The person cannot work, for example. So you should consider how we prioritize that. You should consider your normal critical illness plan. Number 2, consider your relapse plan. I mean, the plan should have a relapse benefits. That is actually more critical than just going for early critical illness alone. Yeah.
Okay, I asked this question first. For retirees with no legacy needs, we only need integrated shield plan with and relevant general insurance. Is that a fair statement?
Okay, when a person is retiree, they are actually having a adequate medical safety net is very important. Okay, so there are actually 2 areas that a person really needs for retirees. Firstly, hospitalization plan. Okay, the second thing is that the risk of long-term care. Long-term care basically means a person cannot perform any 3 or 6 activity or daily living. All right. So imagine today if a person were to wake up, from the moment he wake up all the way to he takes his breakfast, there are 6 functions that a person must be able to do. Firstly, coming out of bed, that's transferring. Then walking to the toilet, that is mobility. Then the first thing go toilet, go for your toileting lah, poo lah. Okay. Number 3. Number 4, bathing. Number 5, dressing. Number 6, eating. Okay. So a person needs to do these 6 items typically and multiple times. Right. A person cannot do 3 out of 6 activities. The person is called severe disability. And severe disability is where, and the risk is quite high. According to national statistics, 1 in 2 healthy age 65 has 1 in 2 healthy 65 will suffer some form of disability in their lifetime. Okay, and the amount that the person will need is about $3,000 per month and could last about 10 years or so.
We've got CareShield Life, right?
Yeah, CareShield Life alone just give you $662 per month
This year.
Yeah, and every year it will grow by 4%. But in any case, you can't hit that $3,000. By then, I think with inflation, the amount will be huge. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Annuities. Okay. What about annuities? Should we buy annuities?
Well, we have always said, even at Haven, even at Provident, we have always said that the best annuity in Singapore, in terms of dollar payout per premium, is
CPF Life.
Yes.
CPF Life.
See, I tell you all 50,000 times, you all don't believe me. Now expert also say that.
Yeah, so that's without a doubt, right? In terms of dollar paid out per premium, right? CPF Life is the best, right? So if you want to, the first annuity you should consider is CPF Life. And today, if you are 55 years old, which is this year, if you are 55 years old, which is Eddy and me, we are both 55 years
Hey,
old
I'm very young.
this year, right?
I'm very far away from
We can top up to our retirement account up to 426,000. So in effect, you are using 426,000 to buy CPF Life. It's like you are buying, okay, although it's not technically correct, but it's like a $426,000 to have a CPF Life. Now, that will pay you about $3,300 to $3,400 per month for life when you turn 65 years old. Now, if you feel that that is not enough for you, right, and you want more, and you want your income stream to be certain, yes, you can buy a private annuity after that. Okay, now I stop here for, not that I stop here, right?
Boss.
Put this in a box and put one side first.
Okay.
There are some people whom they may not want everything to be locked up with CPF Life. Okay, because the downside of CPF Life is that there is no liquidity, right? You put in, you cannot take back out already.
Yeah.
Now, there are circumstances whereby in your retirement 70 years old, you may want to take some money out. Okay, like what? Like maybe, unfortunately, you are diagnosed to have a critical illness. And the prognosis is that you got 12 months left. And you're not going to enjoy your CPF Life payout anymore.
Yeah, lor.
Okay, you want to take out some money and go and travel around before you die.
Sure.
You cannot go to CPF Board and terminate your CPF Life.
Yeah.
So some people, they want some flexibility. They may say, I will only top up my RA up to full retirement sum, which is 213 this year.
Yeah.
Then they go and buy CPF Life later on. Then they take the 213 and buy a retirement income or a private annuity.
Which will not be as good.
It will not be as good as CPF
Not
Life.
even close.
Okay, depends on what you say is close, but definitely CPF Life is better. But the trade-off is this, okay, when they do that, yes, it's not going to be CPF Life, but they have flexibility because they can choose to terminate the annuity plan sometime down the road.
I see. Okay, So I'm still digesting. This is a very interesting question. Eve asks, what about teenager buying whole life plus critical illness? Better buy term or whole life? How do parents choose for them or advise them?
Okay, Eddy, let me take this. Okay, so really, every time you want to buy an insurance, you got to ask yourself, what is the objective? Right? And I've said earlier on, you buy insurance to replace income loss due to death, disability, or a medical crisis. You buy insurance to pay for medical expenses. So now, if you want to buy for your teenager, ask yourself, what is the purpose of you buying the insurance for your teenager? Is it to replace income loss? He's not earning an income.
No income anyway.
It's not important for you to buy to replace income loss for your teenager, right? So in that case, in a way, term is out of the picture, right? Now, is it for medical expenses? Yes, right? So the first insurance you must buy for your teenager is your IP, your integrated plan. You must buy for your teenager, very important. Then you ask yourself whether you want an option for your teenager if he or she is critically ill to have an option for alternative treatment. If your answer is yes, buy a whole life attached with a critical illness, right? So start with that now. But before even I go there, I always say that there is a priority of planning. We all earn a limited $1. And with that limited $1, we need to prioritize, right? And the priority is always the parents. Because the parents is the goose that lay the golden egg, right? So the priority is always
Take care of parents first.
Yeah, because if the parents die, get disabled, or have a medical crisis, lose income, the family collapse.
Yes.
So you protect the parents first who are income producing. Now, after you have done that, what is your next priority? Right, your next priority then is all your medical expenses, insurance will be your IP plans, so you take care of that for the whole family. Now, after you have done that, now maybe children's education planning is your next priority. And after you have done that, maybe planning for your own retirement is the next priority. Now, after you have done that, the living a life today is also a priority.
Yes,
because
yeah,
you cannot
yeah.
plan everything for the future and
Sure.
don't save anything for today to live a life, right?
Sure.
And after you have done that, then you ask yourself, do I still got spare cash?
Then you take care of.
Then the teenager, those things that you want to buy for your children that they may not need, then you buy. Because a lot of parents start by buying whole life plans for their teenager because they always think that I give to them when they turn 21, they take over. Because when the baby comes out, it's very cute. I want to give something to them.
Yeah, yeah.
But there is a priority of needs. And we earn only $1. I keep saying that we only earn $1. So you must plan based on what is most important. And after you do that, you still got a lot of spare cash, you know what to do. Then, okay, you buy for your teenager.
Wow, this part is the best insurance lesson and finance. What to buy, best lesson. I don't know whether I can cut this part into a YouTube shot. I'll try to do that. This part is very important. If not, I shoot a separate session with you on just on this part, 1 minute. Okay, there's a lot of question. Is it okay to buy insurance that have been surrendered from a broker? Well, this is the new one. I never heard before.
Traded endowments and vertical.
Okay, in English.
In English, traded endowment 其实是一个第三方的保险。Okay, what is more popular today is traded endowment.
Okay.
So let's say you got an endowment plan.
Okay.
That is going to mature in 20 years.
Yes.
Okay, but you don't want it already. Okay.
Yeah.
Or let me say that again. You have an insurance policy that will mature in 10 years' time.
Okay.
But you cannot wait for 10 years.
Yeah.
You want the money back already.
Urgently, for whatever reason.
If you surrender the policy, okay, you are only going to get $1 back. I use just $1,
Okay.
$1 back.
Sure.
Okay, but someone now comes and buy from you and
80
say that no, I will pay you 120. Okay.
Okay.
So you sell to me. So I buy from you at 120. You sell to me rather than you will surrender to the insurance company, right? Because
Yeah,
you can
of
buy
course.
from me, right?
Of course.
So deal. So both
Okay.
of us hold hands, go to the insurance company.
Okay.
You assign the insurance policy to me, so I own. Now, 10 years later, when the policy mature, I get the maturity value.
You lah.
I
Yeah,
own it already,
yeah.
I get the maturity
Yes,
value.
yes.
Yeah, so that's what secondary market is all about.
Sounds very good.
Yeah, so for me, every day I mean, well, because if you die also, there's a sum assured that is being paid out lah. Yeah, so I hope to get this payout as soon as possible. But if you don't die, then I have to wait until the
Oh,
policy
but the
matures.
policy is still me.
Yes, on your life.
Or not on your life, although you already bought over.
Yes. On your
Okay,
life,
then you
but
every day
only-
wish I die lah.
Yes. Yeah, the best is I buy today, tomorrow you die. So because I buy.
Oh, so it's actually not really so-called buy over. It's not really buy over. You you just take over a sign,
Yeah.
but it's still dependent whether
You die or the
I-
policy mature lah, because it's an endowment plan. Policy can mature. So
Oh,
now
I
I
see.
think
I
the
see.
question is being asked, right?
Yeah,
Is it good for me
yeah.
to invest in a policy like that? I think this is still not regulated by MAS.
It's not regulated.
Yeah, so you have to take the risk lah. I mean, the financial aspect can look good, right? But you just have to accept the fact that until today, this is not regulated by MAS.
It sounds too sophisticated for ordinary people. My advice is don't touch. It's almost like a gamble, right?
I wouldn't say it's a gamble, honestly. If it is a proper transaction, from an investment standpoint, the ROI standpoint, it can be quite attractive,
I see.
right? But this is not regulated by
Okay.
MAS. So you go in with your eyes open. Whoever is brokering the deal,
Yeah.
you make sure that this person does a good job with you for all the documentation, and all that.
Okay, very quickly, personal accident insurance. Should buy or should not buy?
Okay, personal accident is in Haven's way of thinking is this not the must-have. It's good to have. Because usually when we talk about accident coverage, it's more important to buy the life coverage because the death coverage is only paid out on accident. Okay, so rather buy a term plan that covers a death cover. I think that's more important. Secondly, accident policy usually covers the not so severe accidents like fall down, see doctor, GP account. Okay, usually can self-insure. If the accident is very major, usually it will be admitted in hospital. That's where IP will take over.
Okay, so almost not very useful in the whole.
I mean, it's good to have, but you don't really have to spend you don't really have to get it, and if you get it, you don't have to spend too much money on it.
I see. Okay. There's another very interesting question. Someone say that, okay, old folks. Old folks, that means old means not we are not old.
Senior.
Let's say 65,
senior.
70, 75. What kind of insurance policy should they get?
As I mentioned, there are two things. One, make sure you have a good hospitalization plan that actually matches your healthcare expectation and something that is affordable, because our IP plans are very expensive. Get something affordable. Second is a long-term care. So long-term care basically.
But for old folks, all very expensive.
Both
are very expensive.
Yes, but then it'll be even more expensive if you don't have the coverage when it comes. Yeah. So second is a long-term care. Your cashier life. Cashier is not enough. You usually need to top up. Yeah.
Along that line, then Margaret asked this: your thoughts if downgrading a hospital private plan to a restructured hospital, okay, as premiums are getting expensive in 60 age group. Do or don't do?
Ultimately, is firstly two things: your expectation and your affordability. But really, the most important is affordability. Because if I expect a lot, I cannot afford to pay. I still need to downgrade. There's no way, right? So if going premiums is a challenge, then at some point the person will need to downgrade, and then you have to manage your expectations. Yeah.
I think also, just to weigh in, it is not just the affordability, it is also the opportunity cost. Okay, so today CPF board has done a dashboard called CPF plan. I strongly encourage you to go into CPF plan, log in with your SingPass, and there's one module called healthcare planning. And when you go into this module, basically you key in some numbers, you will see what is the out-of-pocket expenses. Out-of-pocket meaning to say over and above the Medisave, this out-of-pocket expenses that you have to pay to service your current IP plan. And if you are on a private plan, right, you will be shocked from today until you are age 90 or 95 years old, how much extra cash you have to fork out. Now, it will scare you, because for me, when I did it on my own, from now until I can't remember 90 or 95 years old, I need to fork out another 700,000. Now, so you may be able to afford the premium, but you are going to have less. You're going to have less 700,000 in your retirement. So you're going to ask yourself: firstly, it's a question of affordability, but it's also a question of opportunity cost. Whether you want to have lesser 700,000 in your retirement, then you make your decision. Although it is a very tough decision, right? Because psychologically, if you're always having a private hospital, you can walk into any private hospital anytime you want. So suddenly downgrade and can only go to government hospital can be a psychological barrier.
But okay, in the worst case, public hospital, if you go to B ward or C ward, highly subsidized, right?
Only B2, C ward is subsidized.
I see.
B1 and above is considered private.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Does a Haven offer options to CareShield Life?
Yes, we do. We do analyze, and we do advise, and we do implement CareShield Life for clients.
CareShield Life supplement.
Yes, CareShield supplement for clients.
Yeah. Because CareShield Life, if you are 30 years old and above, is compulsory today. Okay, and then those of us who are born 1979 or earlier, we are called the optional cohort. We can actually opt in, and that you can just go to the CareShield Life website. You can do it yourself. But maybe, Lou, I just want to say a word for CareShield Life, right? Because CareShield Life today, if you claim, the payout is $662. Now, most people will say it is not enough, right? Yes, it's a very small amount, but just like Medishield Life is meant for you to go and stay in B2 and C1. If you want to go and stay in private B1 and above, right, it's not enough, right? In the same vein, CareShield Life is like that. CareShield Life is meant for you.
Subsistence.
If you suffer severe disability, you want to check into a MOH subsidized nursing home, right? Which may mean the waiting time can be very, very long queue. Then it's okay. Because when you go and stay in a government subsidized, MOH subsidized nursing home,
662 is enough.
It's not enough. but a large part of the bill is subsidized, right? So for example, let's say the bill is about $4,000, right? About after subsidy is probably left about another $1,000.
Okay lah.
Right? Then your CareShield comes in, you still have to pay out of pocket about $500.
Not so bad.
Right? So not so bad. So,
Not so
we
bad.
got to look at CareShield Life in that context. But of course, if you want to have a better quality of care in a better nursing home, you don't want to wait so long, then you need to buy the CareShield Life supplement, which Eddy has mentioned that Haven does provide.
Okay, so a lot of people are keep sending me private requests about their personal issue and things like that. Maybe I'd like to remind everybody, you see the ticker tape running on the bottom, contact@haven.com, write into them, and their first appointment is free. And then after that, you can decide whether you want any of their commercial services. You can see that they are, number one, they are very sincere. They're really out to help you. And they are in a non-conflict environment. I think please take comfort in them. Hey, I don't get any char siu rice or
Not
any
even char siu
commission.
rice,
And this time around, not even char siu rice. This one is I invite them, not they invite me. For your sake. Okay, this time around, please, I got to buy them char siu rice. So
Right, man. It's on video, man.
either way, the char siu rice wins. Okay, but please write into them so that your specific question. I give an example. People asking me right now about I got this congenital heart issue right now. I cannot buy any insurance. What do I do? And the other one is someone said, can I speak to them about my personal medical insurance issue? So write into them because in this kind of very mess with 1,000 more people are talking about your very specific issue, maybe a bit too private. Okay, yeah. Let me quickly ask Mr. Lu, give them free durian.
Hey, that's not a bad deal.
Ujiabo. Ujiabo.
Very little.
I save on one. Okay. Yeah. So I just want to say, how much are the fees if they go Haven?
No
No,
fees.
no fees.
So yeah, again, depending on what products they buy lah.
Yes.
I see. I think it's you all can go to them for help. I think it's not a bad thing. Okay. Now I am mindful of time. Okay, and I'm looking at the question. They are all very specific. Maybe I do this for a wrap up first, and your specific question you just asked. Okay. Now so today we have learned a lot about ILPs. Even for me, it's like suddenly, like I hear ILP for 10 years, I suddenly understood why the 101 ILP is a very, to me, is something I don't need and a lot of people don't need. Okay. Yeah. I want to say something worse, but later I cannot a 6-letter. I don't want to cannot. Second is that we also understood endowment, okay, universal life, whole life, the differences and the circumstances you might need them, okay? And this is all about insurance needs. We also talk about annuity, okay? And the best annuity is CPF life, okay? Nothing besides, even people like them who are professional say that. I think you all got to accept that, okay? And I just want to say that, we have a lot more topics that we can talk about, okay? I'll just want to say this, any last general question or specific question that you want to discuss, you have got about 7 minutes more. Okay. Any last questions? I want to take advantage of this time. Okay. Okay. So someone asked, what about investments? Do your Haven cover investments?
No.
Yeah, Haven doesn't do investments.
Why?
We want to firstly, we want to specialize on insurance. We want to deepen and specialize on insurance advisory.
And
Okay.
also remember the 3 C's.
Oh,
that
yes.
we discussed.
Yes.
And this is a personal conviction.
You repeat again. That one very
Yeah.
interesting.
So this is a personal conviction. I mean, having spent almost 3 decades in the industry, I feel that most men in the street probably would be better off if they don't invest.
Listen, this is very interesting. Everybody listen up. I think you're not paying attention. This one, I need to emphasize. You've been sleeping for a whole session. Now is the time to listen, okay? Sorry, repeat again.
Yeah, I think I've said this before.
Yes.
Okay, and the reason why I have this conviction, and I know that I've been slapped left, right, center because of this conviction. The reason is because most men in the street, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the experience to do so. And unfortunately, I say this with trepidation, the men in the street also do not have access to a lot of good advice. And as a result, they end up actually losing money. They invest from their OA, they lose money. They invest from their cash, they lose money. So maybe it is better for them not to invest. So then how can they be successful in their own financial planning and their retirement? 3 C's. Well, the first C is cash flow management. Cash flow is king. Cash flow is king in business. Cash flow is king in our personal life. What is cash flow management? Make sure you earn a good income, but live below your means. Keep your expenses low. Have a good surplus.
Save
And
money.
with the surplus, you save. You have emergency fund. Your emergency fund, you optimize it by looking for higher interest account to put your money. That's cash flow management. Second, coverage management, right? Make sure you buy the correct insurance. I saw just now one of the comments says that if you got money, buy everything. That's true, but unfortunately, it's impossible to buy everything. So buy only those coverage that is necessary. We always say buy as much as you need, pay as little as you can. You can do so by using term insurance, right? And if you take care of your coverage management well, you're well covered, but you don't have to spend a lot of money. The third C is what we call today Core Plus, right? Core Plus is about first making use of your CPF. Your CPF has got the best annuity. Your CPF is very good for accumulation. It will give you a reliable income stream. And if CPF is not enough, then you can consider buying a private annuity. Now, I think for the man in the street, if you diligently take care of these 3 C's well,
More than enough.
I would say that you would be able to cover your essential expenses with high reliability. You don't have to take market risk. Now, I'm not saying investing is bad. At Provident, our primary business is actually in investing, right? Our main revenue comes from investing, but that's because we are advising the high net worth and the affluent,
Atas.
right? They need to invest and they should invest. But for the man in the street, perhaps just by taking care of these 3 C's, you would be able to achieve your objectives.
Okay, yeah. So, okay,
I want to say that my answer is relating to the question why Haven doesn't do investment, right? It is because of this conviction. Haven served the man in the street. Therefore, they focus on these 3 C's.
So Christy, very funny. Then can afford to buy Mr. Lu premium fruits. Okay, yeah.
And your orange that's coming.
Orange is coming
Coming
soon.
soon.
Coming. Okay. All right. Can this discussion play back? Yes. Okay. I will save this discussion. And I just want to say I think we learned a lot today. Okay. On many aspects of insurance, and I think with this you probably have a own self-reflection what you roughly need. The specific questions that you have about your own policy or whatever, contact@haven.com. The email address is there. Just write in, and then Haven will take care of you. If you're high net worth, millions of dollars, you might want to contact. It's not support at Provident, right?
Communications@provident.com.
Communications@provident.com. Okay, yeah. Or you can even write to me. I'll refer you all to them. So I think this is very great. Please send a salvo of thank you for our 2 wonderful guests for today.
Can I answer this?
What's the question?
Joseph question.
Okay, Joseph question, yes.
Joseph question is, man in the street also want to break out and grow their money, and investing is the best way. Then how, since man in the street cannot invest? So Joseph, you're not wrong. I'm not saying man in the street cannot invest, right? I'm saying that probably most men in the street, many men in the street, well, maybe they should not. But you are right. Investment is still the best way to beat inflation, but only if you have knowledge. And so before you invest, if you really want to do that, invest in the knowledge. Don't just depend on your advisor, right? I'll say the same to my clients. Don't just depend on your advisor, right? Your advisor is a partner. You must invest your own knowledge. And then when you know enough, you partner together with your advisor, because you also want the advisor to be doing the right thing for you. Now, if you are prepared to invest in that knowledge, then yes, go and invest. But if you are not prepared to, you don't want to, I just want to give you that assurance that you don't have to, right? Because the 3 C's would be able to help you. But if you want more, yes, invest in yourself, equip yourself with the investment knowledge, go and invest.
Okay, very good. So there's a streams of thank you that has come in. Okay, the stream. So thank you that's coming. I just want you to quickly take a look. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. So I let me say thank you. Thanks everybody for joining in. You've committed 2 hours of your time to this, and also to Eddy and Christopher for coming in to educate everybody. I don't know when I can ever ask them to come in again. But certainly, if you have more questions, you'll just write in to contact@haven.com. And as for the rest of people, even I am still digesting. Watch this video again. You may not need to watch everything, but at least watch those parts where Chris and Eddy describe those products specifically and explain what their plus and minuses. Then you make a judgment for yourself. Okay. All right. This Saturday, so everybody have a wonderful Saturday night and a nice Sunday as well. Thanks everybody. Thanks Chris and Eddy. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Good night, everybody. Okay. Good night. Okay. Good night. Yeah. Good night. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for coming in. Okay. See you guys. Bye.